Welcome back to Talking with Our Traders, a Caesar Sportsbook original series, the podcast that takes you inside the mind of the sportsbook with our very own Caesar Sportsbook traders. I'm your host, Cindi Edwards, and with me today and all season long, Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesar Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Fiesel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello.
Okay, guys, let's get into some college football. Joey, is Notre Dame officially out of the playoff picture after that 41-40 loss to Texas A&M?
So right now they're out, but I think they have still a chance and a path forward. But they have zero room for error. But I think there's two things that are going for them. A, it was two top 10 teams that beat them. And B, there's possibly much more room for chaos because this college field looks wide open. It doesn't look like there's a clear super team number one. I mean, we saw this Georgia-Tennessee this last week and came down to last. It's not like Georgia looked great in that game. So, I think they have a chance because there's going to be parity as we go to the end of the season, and that's where they can be like, well, look, we lost to two top 10 teams. I mean, they lost to Northern Illinois last year and still got in. So I don't want to say they're out looking forward, but right now they're out. But they still have a chance, but they have zero room for error.
Yeah, currently they're plus 180 to make the playoffs, so the nails are not in the coffin just yet. But as Joey said, they lost to two really good ranked teams. So they don't get another ranked opponent until October the 18th. That's it for the season. So they run the table. Per Joey's point, they've got every chance.
Right. All right. Well, speaking of chaos, is Clemson dead in the water, so to speak?
They might be dead in the water. At 1-2, two September losses. The bigger question is, are they going to trend towards a rebuild or trying to figure out, does Dabo need to go? We saw Dabo obviously very visibly upset in his press conference. So culture up and down is not looking great. Clemson came into this year with really high expectation, and that's probably what hurts even more. So I think they might be dead from a playoff perspective because the ACC is going to get overlooked. And you have two pretty good teams that look really good offensively and defensively, and that's Miami and Florida State. So if they're not even in the conversation for ACC title game, then yeah, they're out.
Yeah, plus 450 to make the playoffs. Again, like Notre Dame, one ranked opponent left to play. They do need to run the table, but their problem is I like Syracuse first half plus the points and the full game plus the points. So where does Clemson play? Death Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the nails ready.
All right. Well, is Bill Napier coaching for his job this weekend against Miami?
The Miami game certainly feels like a save your job moment. The Florida boosters are they've been patient, but if you lose to another rival and the program looks flat, then that's a one-way ticket out. We saw a couple firings earlier this week, and Napier is definitely on the hottest seat going forward. So yeah, this feels like a save your job game for Billy.
I think he's coaching for his next job.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 7 out of 9 ranked teams left to play, so he's not going to survive. Does he survive the year? Most likely, but now he's already planning for the next
What's
one.
next? Yeah. Of Tulane or South Florida, which has the better chance of getting the Group of 5 bid?
So Tulane's in the driver's seat right now, and they do have the ability to compete with this Ole Miss team. But on the other side, if Florida fires Napier, Boise State doesn't look that good, does that kind of discount what USF already did? So Tulane definitely controls their destiny. But USF, they've already built up their resume a little bit. But one thing that USF has that Tulane doesn't is the 0 in their column for Tulane. So this is a big week to see if we get that separation. Because if Tulane wins, yeah, they're definitely in the driver's seat going forward for that Group of 5 spot.
Yeah, Tulane plus 260 to make the playoffs. South Florida plus 400. I'm leaning more towards South Florida only because Tulane has got multiple back-to-backs left on their schedule, where South Florida only has one, and it's the hardest schedule for me. In my judgment, but Joey's the expert, but I think I'd lean the 400 rather than the 260.
All right, I like it. Okay, let's get into our games of the week. Number 16, Utah hosts number 17, Texas Tech on Saturday. These two teams have played like two of the best teams in the Big 12 so far. However, their competition has not been the most challenging. Joey, who has the advantage here?
Yeah, this is the game I am most looking forward to. It's going to be a tremendous battle of the two top of the undefeated teams in the Big 12. Big Heisman implication, especially if this is a shootout. Two great quarterbacks, Devin Napier, Baron Morton. Utah has the better defense, but Tech has the more explosive offense. So it's really going to depend who has the edge of how this game is going to be played. Utah is going to try to grind that out, kind of hold the ball, hold that time of possession, where Texas Tech is just trying to air the ball out and trying to score more than Utah can. So I'm going to lean Utah a little bit here, especially in a matchup where I'm going to lean the defense. It's not usually a Big 12 thing, but obviously the Big 12 has made some changes in the last couple of years. So I'm leaning Utah here, but it's the game that I'm most looking forward to, for sure.
This opened Utah -4.5. It's now down to -3. So the money has come for Texas Tech. I lean slightly Texas Tech on the money line based on my numbers, but not enough for me to wager, but +135, I'd probably go that angle.
All right. Next up, number 22 Auburn versus number 11 Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold will lead Auburn to Oklahoma, his former school, this weekend in perhaps a revenge game.
It might be a revenge game, and that's certainly probably going to be on his mind. It's probably been in his calendar since the beginning of this year. Another game that's going to have some Heisman buzz because John Mateer on the other side, this Oklahoma team really wants to establish themselves as part of this SEC. They've been kind of also the team with high hopes, but it's the schedule that hurts them that's going to go forward, and this is where that schedule starts now. So, yeah, it's going to be some good narratives in this game. Hope very competitive. I think Oklahoma's going to have the slight edge in this one, but on all fronts, but it can be a great game.
Yeah, another tough game for Oklahoma. I mean, Mateer was available at 20-1 for the Heisman, episode 1.
Yeah.
Oklahoma for the playoffs, 5-1, episode 1. The money line reflects 70% chance of Oklahoma winning. I have them at 73.5%. Mateer has shown he can perform on prime time. These really are must-win games because Oklahoma's schedule really is tough. I mean, if Oklahoma, for me, make the playoffs, I think Mateer wins the Heisman because of that schedule.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be added up.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, number 19 Indiana hosts number 9 Illinois and a Big 10 matchup on Saturday. Joey, line currently sits at -6. Indiana -6, I believe. Break it down for us.
Yeah, this line's heading one way, and Cignetti is back, and he's out for vengeance. It's one of those matchups that always catches the public's eye because you're sitting there like, okay, Illinois number 9, Indiana number 19. Why is Illinois not favored in this one? Well, it's because probably Illinois is a little bit overrated. The AP poll people are not bookmakers are not really lining that up, so they're really just seeing what they're seeing on the field. I think Cignetti really has vengeance because in the beginning of the season they almost lost to Old Dom. It was just really kind of a close game, and that really wasn't the brand for Cignetti. And I think he took that personal. In the next 2 games, he covered the spread easily. So I'm leaning Indiana here. I think Illinois is just a little bit overrated, and we might see Cignetti back with this Indiana cover machine that we saw last year.
I mean, how can you top that? For me, this is the game of the night. I'm really looking for this one. No real opinion. I mean, the money did come for Indiana straight away. Total hasn't budged at all. So, yeah, I mean, there's motivation on this one for sure.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into our college football game picks. What is your favorite college football game to go over?
I'm going to take Louisville Bowling Green over 51.5. I think this Bowling Green team is a little bit underrated on the offensive side and defense. It's a MAC team versus an ACC team, so there's going to be no problem scoring on the Louisville side. So give me that over 51.5.
I'm going to go with rivalry game. Oregon State, Oregon over 55.5.
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite college football game to go under?
I got Stanford, Virginia under 49. Someone in the office had Stanford money line last week, and I don't know how they got there. He had it twice. There's multiple turnovers, but this team scored way more points than they should have last week. So I like still that Stanford slow pace, not a lot of great offense. Give me the under 49 in that one.
Stanford listened to the motivational speech last week.
They did.
Yeah. Fresno State, Hawaii, first half under 23.5.
Yeah, I like that. Favorite college game team to cover the spread?
Last week I went with the angle of Patrick Mahomes is going to be livid. He's going to come in fired up. He's going to score a touchdown. We'll get to the touchdowns later because we happen to cash a ticket. But I'm going with Dabo, absolutely angry. I'm fading Craig here. Clemson covers the 17. He wants to prove he's still the reason that this program has had success. and poor Syracuse is going to be the brunt of that.
I fancy a side bet.
Craig?
San Diego State plus 12 versus California.
No, I don't mind that.
I like my late night games.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite college team to upset?
I'm going to go a little outside the box, a little bigger of a dog here. Tomorrow night, Tulsa versus Oklahoma State. I think Tulsa gets it done. I don't think Oklahoma State is in the same where they used to be.
I should have got Tennessee straight up last week. They still covered, but they missed the game-winning field goal. That would have that should have cashed.
Unfortunate, yeah.
But also Stanford cash plus 430.
Yeah,
so
big
I
one.
mean, I'm back to the only thing I'm actually seem to be good at.
Upsets.
So I got 2 for you again this week.
Okay.
All right. Back to the old formula. Field goal home dogs. Bit of wind. I'll take Hawaii plus 125.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I really like, but until yesterday when everybody else said they liked it, East Carolina plus $2 against BYU.
Yeah, that did steam yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. Craig, any weather we should be watching out for? You spoke of wind in Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite enough for me to bet the under personally,
Right.
but it's going to be up there. Hurricane Tropical Storm Gabrielle is going to hit Florida at some stage, the remnants of it. So there's going to be thunderstorms in Florida again this weekend. So that brings in FIU and Miami.
It's always Florida, isn't it?
Always Florida, but not enough for me to bet the under. That's the problem.
All right. Okay, let's switch focus to NFL. Guys, which team had the most surprising week 2 performance?
I think the Colts really positive on the side. If you look at Denver, they were coming in as being this top 5 defense, and they haven't punted in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an impressive front. Does it hold up? Probably not. I think Daniel Jones will probably regress back to where he will be, and that's mid. On the negative side, obviously the Bengals. Tough to see Joe Burrow go out. They start the season 2-0 though, but now you're out your quarterback for 3 months. It's that's the most on the negative side of just your offensive line can't hold up, and that's what happens.
Yeah, it's bad. Craig?
The happy person I am, I only went negative.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Our biggest liability, home opener on Monday night. The owner is in the coach's box for whatever reason. Calling plays? I don't know. That didn't seem right. It's your coach's birthday, and the only gifts that were exchanged were Geno Smith's arm to the Chargers defense.
Ooh.
I actually turned that game off after halftime.
Well,
I'd seen enough.
We had a pretty good amount of money run onto the Chargers. I had to suffer it. They just look bad all round. Now, I mean, even though they're our biggest liability, they're back to their original price at 125 to 1. I don't think it was the smartest move, Brady being in the box.
Yeah, it's definitely
reasons.
caused some media scrutiny, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you don't need to be involved. You're an owner.
Right. I mean, he's a 5% owner. What does that really mean?
5% of what's 5% is a billion. It's more than 100% of nothing.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Well, what's the biggest overreaction in the betting market this week?
I think the Eagles being undervalued. We're seeing that line
Ooh.
kind of crash down against the Rams. I mean, I'd like to see that they have some positive about my Rams, but I think it's just being kind of overblown. And they don't have a passing touchdown yet, but they're still 2-0. They're still physical. They're still built to win. They still got Saquon. So I think that's the biggest overreaction we've seen thus far in the market.
Interesting.
How many full starts did they get called for this week?
How many?
Yeah, because that tush push was clearly full start.
Clearly, there was a couple that were clear. There was a couple that weren't.
And
so
now they're going to
clear.
be watching it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Biggest reaction for me, the Lions going from 20 to 1 to 14 to 1 for the Super Bowl. They beat the Bears in a revenge game. Not really.
I think it's a fluke.
Well, you're going to hang a score on your opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got a real test this week. So I just think the market overreacted completely.
All right, I like it. Joey, you brought it up already, but Joe Burrow is out for the foreseeable future. I think they're saying 3 months. How does that affect Bengals' futures as well as the overall AFC landscape?
Yeah, Bengals futures don't look good. We've seen a big jump in their odds, and for good reason. I mean, they are 2-0. That's positive. And Jake Browning did lead them to a win. It was against the Jaguars, so let's not all jump up and down and scream.
3 interceptions as well.
Yeah. The AFC picture opens up wide, but you have really kind of the same teams that are going to get there, right? Ravens, clearly the best team in the NFL right now.
Right.
They're going to run away with this AFC North total. Then it leaves the possibility of kind of this really strong AFC West. You have the Chargers. Raiders didn't look phenomenal. Broncos still expect to have a good defense. And then the Chiefs, they're 0-2, but they're still the Chiefs. We know Patrick Mahomes is going to get it done at some point. So that's really how it's going to build up with the AFC. I think it's really the Ravens to lose. I mean, they kind of lose. We saw the Bills game. Yeah, they lost to the Bills, but if we watched 3/4 of that, we knew who was the better team.
Right.
So I think it's the Ravens to lose in the AFC wise. And yeah, Burrow puts it in that it's going to be another year that it's not going to be great for the Bengals. But if Browning's able to kind of just hold them kind of at that 500 level, and then you get Burrow back playoff time, anything can happen.
Well, let me ask, is Browning the guy? Should the Bengals think about trading for a quarterback, Craig?
You got to see how he performs this week first. I mean, if he's on your
Gotcha.
roster as your backup, why are you going to trade over or above him anyway?
Right.
But it just shows the value of good backup quarterbacks.
Right. Right.
Look, there's 5 backup starting quarterbacks this weekend. We'll be talking about it this week next week for sure, because there'll be a lot of talking points. It does show though the Bengals won the game. Joey, listen to my advice: don't price up your futures on your box scores. Burrow was the most bet player in the MVP market, so a tough one for people betting that market. They were 20-1 when they were 0-0, 22-1 after week 1 with a win. They played badly. Now 70-1 just shows how the value of Burrow is. Look, Browning might come out and play really, really well on Sunday, and then that conversation's over, or Browning has an absolute stinker, and then they'll start looking around. And there's a couple of decent quarterbacks that are available on other teams, like James Winston. The Browns have got a load of young quarterbacks, but if Browning's your guy, your backup, then you've got to stick to. You've got to at least give him a chance. What's the point of him being on the roster?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, safe to say my Super Bowl pick is dead.
Yes.
Are the Bengals destroying Joe Burrow, though? This is a larger conversation. Is it time for Joe Burrow to consider going somewhere else?
I don't think he wants to. He's got his man Chase there. You know, he just got his deal going. But they might be breaking him. I mean, you have they went hard in the preseason here, right, to get ready for that, and they got the 2-0 start. Great. But if you don't have a line to protect him, I mean, what's the point? So I think, they kind of are breaking Burrow and kind of not really making the investments they really need to make on either getting the defense. I mean, if the defense goes and just lets him score a touchdown early, then you're back on the field. So the more time on the field, the more it's going to hurt you. If you can just it's the line is the offensive line and the lack of protection is really what just boggles me, especially if Burrow is that top 5 quarterback.
There's a reason quarterbacks buy the offensive line Rolexes, golf carts, and take them out to dinner every Sunday. They're your best friend. And I think it was the Cowboys a few years ago. They had every single offensive lineman was a first-round draft pick. A lot of the teams, they'll go for offense, flair, but they don't really build in the trenches, which is what makes or breaks a lot of the games. And if you can protect your quarterback, you can see in the Dolphins this year, you can't protect the quarterback running around for his life, then you're going to have problems and you're going to have subsequent injuries. And that's the problem. They haven't built around him or protected him.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving on. The 2-0 Indianapolis Colts are the first team in NFL history to score on each of their first 10 offensive possessions of the season. They have not punted all year long, as you mentioned, Joey. This is all with Daniel Jones at the helm. Is Indy the real deal, or just hot early like we've seen in the past?
Not so fast. Wait. They played the Dolphins week 1, right? Come on, that team. And I was on Daniel Jones's over passing yards because every single quarterback this year will go over their passing yards against the Dolphins. The refs assisted with the win against Denver last week on that leverage call.
Right.
If they are 6-1 after they've played the Chargers, then maybe for real. But I can't see them beating any of the two between the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Chargers. And they did go for it on 4th down and multiple times and failed. So realistically, I mean, okay, I would rather not have a punter on my team if I was a coach and just have another offensive weapon. But no, they're overrated.
Yeah, not yet real. It looks like the Saints last year. Remember, we were sitting here on week 2, like, wow, the Saints the real deal? Are they
Yeah,
gonna,
they look
Are they
good.
going to just score? Are they going to win the NFC? Well, then it went downhill real
Absolute
fast.
plummet. Yeah.
So it depends. They weren't going against really. They haven't shown just a lot. Like you said, to play the Dolphins. Like everybody can beat the Dolphins. It looks like tonight
11
the
of us
Bills
on
are
the
going
floor
to
could
beat
beat
the
the
Dolphins.
We could beat the
Exactly.
Dolphins.
But we're gonna have to wait a couple weeks to see if this offense is real. They have some skill positions, but now
Yeah.
you have Tyler Warren dealing with some injury stuff. You have Jonathan Taylor, who's solid. Daniel Jones, we don't know if he's the guy. It likely isn't. He's the reason he got rid of in New York. But we're gonna find out if they're the Saints or the Commanders, right? Because the Commanders, we had a question: are they the real deal? Well, they kind of proved us that they were somewhat the real deal, and they don't look the same this year. But I'm not sold yet.
But then again, quarterbacks that get out of New York seem to have a resurrection in their
There's
career.
only up to
It's
go
tough
from
to be
down.
a quarterback.
It's tough to be. That's true.
Okay. All right. Well, we will keep an eye on them. Moving on, Caleb Williams. Inaccuracy issues continued last week against the Lions. At what point do we have a larger conversation about him, his productivity? He's 5-14 so far in his career, and he's lost to the 3 quarterbacks that were taken after him in the draft, and he hasn't played the other 2 yet. So what are your guys' thoughts there with Caleb Williams?
Accuracy problems are big. I mean, he's got the tools, but at some point we can't just blame the Bears, right? The Bears aren't just bad because they're the Bears. He has all the tools. I mean, that offensive weapon unit is great, but he just always overflies the ball, always throws against them. We'll see how he progresses in the weeks to come. I don't want to just sell immediately, but right now it's trending towards, well, maybe Caleb Williams isn't the guy.
This is his second new offense in 2 years in the league, so probably a bit too soon to press the panic button. I think the Bears have the conversation when his rookie contract is ready for renewal, because then you're talking serious dollars against the cap, and maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's just nerves. I mean, if you're overflying the ball, you're probably just nervous more than anything.
Can't be nervous forever.
Can't be nervous forever, and you're getting paid an absolute ton of money. So at some stage, you got to practice better and get your timing right. I don't think the Bears will be as foolish as what Miami were with Tua after his rookie contract. But I mean, you joined a bad team, so you can write off year one. Head coach changes, so you're back again to square one. So it's a tough situation for him to be in.
Right. All right. Lamar Jackson is currently the all-time leader in NFL history in passer rating. He also has the most rush yards in history for a quarterback. Is Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the league?
Right now, yeah, he's the best quarterback in the league. Does he get in that GOAT conversation to where he's the greatest of all time? I don't think that's even a question yet, because he's got to get actually playoff wins and win a Super Bowl.
That's it.
That's it?
I spent like an hour on this question.
All right. Well,
let's hear your hour.
Let's go.
Is he the best in the league currently? Yes, by
Okay.
a distance. Is he comparable to Brady, Mahomes, Marino, Montana? No. Brady has the rings, not because he was a great quarterback, just in a great situation.
Oh my God.
Right?
Stop.
Mahomes
Yeah, the
has,
best situation.
Yeah.
His coach really did well after
Did you
him.
see the Raiders offense on Monday night?
Go on.
Mahomes has the rings and that je ne sais quoi magic.
Yeah,
you know.
he's been looking phenomenal.
Marino was easily the greatest pocket passer of all time and changed the position. Montana, rings, very similar style to Brady. Never going to beat you with a deep ball that often. But the little dink and dunks, accuracy, and the will to win. If I'm down 2 points late in the game, do I want Jackson, Brady, or Mahomes? I'm taking Brady or Mahomes. If I'm down a touchdown, I want Marino and Montana. For me, the greatest is being in the situation late in the game and knowing your guy is going to win the game, and not going for it on 4th and 3 week one confirms my theory. And it's just a theory. Lamar ranks 125th in history of fourth quarter comebacks. He's got 10. 17 active quarterbacks have more. Kirk Cousins has 25. Andy Dalton has 25. The top 10's Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger, Matt Stafford, Drew Brees, Johnny Unitas, Marino, Russell Wilson, John Elway. He's not in that conversation yet.
Well, they've all been playing much longer than
and
him.
I am Lamar's number one.
You
are.
fanboy.
That's why
I am
I'm a Lamar
Lamar's
fanboy.
number one fanboy.
Yeah.
But not yet.
So if he gets a ring this year, which there's a great chance he will, and Joey, you're betting on that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that automatically put him in that conversation, though? He has the Super Bowl. He's looking phenomenal.
I think you have to have consistency in order
Okay.
to do it because
He's going to need
Craig,
a couple.
I never like saying Craig has a good point, but when Lamar's in the field for a fourth quarter comeback or
Right.
they have to get a drive to win, you're never that you're nervous for him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I'm on the other side of Mahomes, like, oh, I already know what happens here. He goes down, if it's Tom Brady, oh, I already know what happens here. He gets down, he gets the win. And Lamar does not have that.
The last 2 games against the Bills, a great quarterback puts it in a way that the receiver cannot drop the ball. That's what great quarterbacks do. Mark Andrews didn't catch the ball on the potential tying drive, and then they didn't give him the ball on 4th and 3. You put it in your hands of your MVP.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the thing I said last week when that game 20-odd years ago where Brady went for it on 4th and 1 at his own 28 because he did not want to give Peyton Manning the ball. That's enough of a compliment, and that wasn't a compliment for Jackson.
Right. Okay, so we all agree he's the best quarterback in the league at the moment.
Right
He
now.
is nowhere close to overall conversation. Moving on to another quarterback, is Baker Mayfield a top 5 quarterback in the league right now?
No.
No. All right, name your top 5.
Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford. Is there some Rams bias in there?
Yes.
Probably. But don't worry about it. Those were my top 5.
Craig, agree, disagree?
It's not even close. We were in a chat on Monday night because we needed the Bucks and we
Right.
needed the under. And we love watching Baker play.
Oh, he's so
Because
when
he's
you
fun.
watch him play,
He's
he's
so
Yeah.
great.
He's a competitor. Yeah.
But
We
top
love some
5?
trash talk.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's he's my guy.
Why we're watching. Yeah.
Is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? No.
Right now in the league, though, he's
yeah.
not top 10.
No.
What?
No. If I'm starting a franchise, he's not in my top 10.
So you're taking 10 quarterbacks that are playing right now over Baker.
Yes. I'd probably
Okay.
take 12 or 13.
I completely disagree, but
Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, Daniels, Burrow. There's your top 5.
okay.
Justin Herbert, 6. Stafford I'd take, but I wouldn't take him as a
Yeah.
franchise starter because of his age.
All right.
I only didn't take Burrow or Daniels because they were hurt.
Right.
But the top 5 right now, still he's not in the conversation.
Would you put him in your top 10, Joey?
Probably put in top 10 because there's so many injuries right now.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of great quarterbacks.
So there's just, he's just being overhyped because of that.
And he's in a really
performance.
good offensive system. Like he
Yeah.
has, like the amount of weapons he has. Like if we look at Baker when he was at Cleveland, it wasn't great. He went to the Rams where they were in a good scenario. He played well. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with the Bucks. It's a really good offensive system, really good weapons. He's a competitor. He's out there, but he's certainly one to make mistakes. He puts himself
Right.
out there where he can get hurt. He's in probably the top 10 because of injuries right now, but he's not in that great category where you can put him in any team. I think you could put Mahomes on any team and he's going to be good. Lamar on
Okay.
any team, he's going to be good.
He
Yeah, good
lost,
point.
7 straight primetime games going into Monday? And the one he won before that's when he got off the plane at the Rams. and won
Rams.
that game.
Yeah,
That's
against
electric.
the Raiders,
I mean,
right?
okay, you gotta love that guy for that.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I put that more so on the Raiders. Just they just. I
can
don't
count on
know.
the
You
Raiders
can't
to
even
do that,
explain it. You can't even explain it. All right. Well, moving on to our next quarterback conversation. Is Jalen Hurts overrated? The Eagles are the only NFL team without a passing touchdown so far this season.
To a degree, yes, he's a little bit overrated when it comes to the lack of passing game production. But that's not really how this system is built. Like they're not going to be this chuck the ball down the field. They're not going to be this Josh Allen throwing the ball down the field big. It's a really grinded out system, and it's what got them to win the Super Bowl last year. Was we're going to focus on running first, and he's very dangerous. The tush push is very dangerous usually, and maybe not so much this year, but he's slightly overrated because when you think of like even Lamar Jackson has better passing production than Jalen Hurts, but
Much better.
yeah, it's a system dependent, and he fits really well with Philadelphia. So I don't want to say that they're bad or anything. I talked about the market probably overreacting to this team. They're still a very solid team, but his passing is a little bit overrated.
I'm not a fan of Alabama quarterbacks, never have been, although we did go Oklahoma as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I would put it this way, and it's because I know it the best. Miami won back-to-back Super Bowls in the 70s, and their quarterback threw 13 passes in the Super Bowl, right? If you can run the ball, you dominate the game. You wear down the defense. Ask Dan Marino in 1984, would you rather have 50 touchdown passes or a Super Bowl ring? Dan Marino's probably hope to say, I'd rather have the ring and no touchdown passes because I've won the ring. It's
I
all
don't know
about
if
winning.
Dan Marino
in
would say
February.
that, but
Yeah,
some
would.
quarterbacks would. Okay. Are you guys ready for a rapid fire?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let's do contenders or pretenders. 2-0 team edition. We've talked about a couple of these teams already. Let's just do it at the same time.
Okay.
Contender or pretender, Rams.
Episode 1.
I think they're a pretender. Unfortunately.
Ooh.
I had them a contender
Joey.
preseason.
I
They're on
know.
my board in the office.
I'm a negative Nancy.
Okay. Contender or pretender, Cardinals.
Pretender.
Pretender, yeah.
Contender or pretender, San Francisco 49ers.
Pretender.
I think they could be a contender this year because of their schedule. So I think if you line yourself up to be that maybe possibly the 1 seed for the NFC, 2 seed, then they you make those games in California, they got a good shot to get healthy by that time.
I only say pretender because my next door neighbor has this giant form on his flag outside his house.
Contender or pretender, Tampa Bay Bucks.
Pretender.
Pretender, yeah.
Yeah, I could have called that from you too. Contender or pretender, Packers.
I'm not even going to answer that.
It's contender.
Big contenders. All right. Contenders or pretenders, Eagles.
Champs will always be contenders.
They're contenders, yep.
Yeah. Contender or pretender, Chargers.
Contender.
Contender.
All right. Contender or pretender, Colts.
Get out of here.
Pretender.
Is it like the jury's out or they're definitely pretenders?
They're
Pretenders.
pretenders.
Okay. Contenders or pretenders, the Bengals.
Toast.
Yeah, pretenders because Joey B's out.
Yep.
Oh. Contender or pretender, the Buffalo Bills.
Contender. I think going with their schedule, they're going to line themselves up.
Oh, well, they're in an easy division.
Yeah, that too.
All right. Let's get into
They're
our...
contender until they get the Ravens in the playoffs.
Please let them just take the Chiefs
Or the
out.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into our NFL games of the week. Let's start with Eagles Rams. Which team outlasts the other to stay undefeated, Joey?
It's a rematch of the divisional round, one of the best games in the playoffs. One of the only teams that really gave Eagles some fits.
Yeah.
And then it kind of snowed, and then the Rams.
Kind of snowed.
Yeah, it kind of snowed, and the Rams showed they were from California, and then they couldn't come back. Line movement heavily towards the Rams right now. I think it's going along with that narrative that is this Philadelphia team really that good? They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Cowboys, but they haven't shown that spectacularism that we saw last year. But I still think they're true contenders in this one. There was questions with the Rams with Stafford. Is he hurt? He hasn't looked too bad right now, but they really haven't played that many great teams. I don't really count the Texans as a great team. So this is going to be their first true test game. I'm most looking forward to. I am a Rams fan.
Bias.
So, yeah.
All right. Craig?
I like the Rams on the futures. They were in that game the whole time in that divisional playoff until Saquon blew it out with a 78-yard run at the end.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the bad weather. You've got to have a good running game. And the Eagles had the better running game that day. I did feel watching that game that the Rams had the chance to pull it off, and they should have. Eagles have had a tough start to the schedule. This is the Rams' first real test. First half home favourites, which is the Eagles, between 2.5 and 3.5 points, has covered at 60% of the last few years. So I'd probably lean Eagles first half, but no real opinion on the game.
All right. Moving on to our next game of the week, we have Broncos-Chargers in an AFC West divisional matchup. I just realized the Chargers have played each of their divisional opponents the first 3 games of the season. Do they continue their win streak?
Chargers look like the team to beat in the AFC West right now. Harbaugh, when you think of like Harbaugh's going to build this up, he's building it in the trenches. Well, he is. So you think, okay, maybe that has to go with the running game. No, he's throwing the ball a lot, and Justin Herbert looks great. Broncos offense hasn't really clicked yet. They're supposed to have the top 5 defense. Again, you laid how many points to the Colts last week, so that doesn't really tell me there's value here in the Broncos. I'm going to go with the hot team here. I like laying the points with the Chargers here.
Chargers have a 60% record within the division against the spread since 2020. Being 3-0 and 3-0 in the division is huge for them. The Broncos should feel hard done by because they had that win in the bag last week. No real opinion or angle on this for me. I do think the Broncos will give them a better game than the Raiders, and it's tough to make any real takeaways from the Monday night game because the Raiders really gifted that game. If Geno had had a better game, maybe it's closer.
Right.
I mean, when you're throwing a pick on the first play, the Chargers were always in the
I didn't think the Chargers looked like phenomenal by any means.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And both teams that came out of Brazil were pretty flat.
Yeah.
Could just be two flat teams, but
Yeah.
All right, we will see. Next up, we have Sunday Night Football, Chiefs versus Giants. The Kansas City Chiefs are on a 3-game losing streak, starting the season 0-2 for the first time in over a decade. But luckily, they play another 0-2 team, the New York Giants, this weekend. Is this their get-right game?
Yeah, Chiefs aren't going to go 0-3. I mean, as much as I'd love to see it, but we saw the Giants last week. I mean, they had every opportunity to win that game.
Right.
Bad teams
And
don't
they're
close
just
out.
they're just allergic to winning. So, I think the Chiefs -6 is a little bit short. If Mahomes is going to be sharp, but their offense hasn't looked phenomenal. You know, the whole offseason it was the Chiefs' offense is going to be much better. It's going to be much better. It's clearly you're missing Rice. You know, were they getting hurt? And Travis Kelce's old. So
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if the Giants kind of hold it in there and kind of keep it close. They're going to blow it late. But their offense looked like they were clicking. It was the Cowboys who looked like they have a horrible defense, especially without Micah Parsons. But they did look like they were connecting a few more dots than they did last year. And even with Russell Wilson, which is impressive.
Yeah, that neighbors play was sick.
No team starting 0-3 has ever won the Super Bowl. Since 1990, 162 teams were 0-3. Only 4 made the playoffs, yet surprisingly, 2 of them won the division. So if you think the Chiefs can win the division, wait for them to lose this weekend. Crazy, the Giants are 7-0 against the Chiefs at Meadowlands.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No. Wow.
Another game where the box score doesn't reflect the game itself. This is why when I model things, I have one with the actual data, and then I'll make an adjustment based on the scores. Because this one has an asterisk for me because the Kelce interception, he should have caught that.
Yeah.
And that's a 14-point swing. A lot of factors, so I'm not writing the Chiefs off yet. They're still minus 200 to make the playoffs, which speaks volumes of their talent. Maybe you wait to bet the Chiefs when they go on 3 because 2 of the 4 teams that made the playoffs win the division. At least you'll get a prize.
So do you think they're going to go 0-3? Do you think Giants have a chance here?
I've bet the Giants money line already. The big problem for the Chiefs, and I think we said it week 1, they had the Eagles the following week after Brazil.
Oh, the Ravens next week?
They've got the Ravens next week. And they say, my mind's on this week, my mind's on this week, you've got an eye on these games. You absolutely do.
That's a great point. I didn't think of that.
When I played darts tournaments, I always knew who my next round opponent was. Because I'm thinking, how can I embarrass them?
All right. Well, speaking of the Ravens host the Lions on Monday Night Football to end week 3. I'm very excited for this game. Both teams bounce back in a dominant way after in week 2. I believe the line currently sits at 4.5. Joey, break it down.
Really going to be a high-powered game. It's not looking good for SGPs for the Caesars boys, but I think Ravens defense is going to be the key in here. And really, we saw Lions play a really good defense in week 1 against the Packers. They look flat. They played the Bears, and they were able to get what they wanted done. Was there some extra motivation in that game because Ben Johnson was on the other sideline? Probably. And they've probably been waiting in the offseason to kind of build up for that. So I really can't get my finger on the pulse of the Lions because I did not expect. I mean, it's hard to put up 50-plus points in the NFL. I don't care who you're playing.
The Dolphins did it a couple of years ago.
So I can't really make a decision on whether the Lions are good or bad. We saw some money coming in on the Lions this week. It opened up 6. It's now down to 4.5. So there's some people that like the Lions out there. I don't know who they are, but I'm going with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are far and above the best team in the NFL. That's why I made them as my Super Bowl pick. And I think if they want to, they can win by 20 plus.
Ooh. Craig, I kind of think you might agree here.
I'd never agree with
Yeah.
Joey. I'm loving this move all the way down.
Yeah.
It's an overreaction to the Lions' 50 burger. The Ravens do have the Chiefs next week. They will have an eye on that game.
Oh, vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ravens are 6-1 against the Lions. They're 4-0 at home against the Lions with an average margin of victory of 27.5 points. This does not bode well. And the more this line goes lower, the more I'm thinking mortgage the house on this one. The last 3 games at home against the Lions, 38-6, 44-20, 48-3. These games are not even close.
Yeah.
There's another stat that does not bode well for our SGPs on Monday night. Certain referees' last 7 games, 64 points, 51 points, 78 points, 55 points, 66 points, 74 points, 38.
I'm going to pack up my desk.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to lay the jinx here. I made the Ravens -6 for this game. That's exactly where I'm leaning. But it could be a massive SGP night again for our customers after week 1 as well.
Right. Okay, moving on. Let's get into our game picks of the week. Favorite game to go over?
I'm going Lions Ravens. I don't see the defense going to be able to do anything on the Lions side to stop Lamar and crew from just running up this score. So over 53 there.
Yeah.
The obvious over is Josh Allen's passing yards tonight, 233.5, because every quarterback that goes against Miami this year will go over.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Game-wise, Cardinals 49ers over 43.5.
I like it. All right, favorite game to go under?
I like the Packers Browns under 41.5. The Packers really been everybody's team, including Craig McLow's.
Yes.
But they haven't shown me anything offensively. And if there's one thing I know about the Browns is sometimes they can play defense. So I see this as a lower scoring game. The Packers obviously playing really good defense and shouldn't have a problem with the Browns because they have trouble playing offense. So give me the under 41.5.
All right.
I'm going Raiders Commanders under 44.5.
Okay. All right, favorite team to cover the spread?
Oh, it's not even close. We're agreeing on this one.
I didn't pick the Ravens here, but I picked the Chargers. I really like the Chargers. I believe in Harbaugh. The other Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a Harbaugh 2-team parlay this week.
Look at that.
Maybe that's what we do. But, I got the Chargers -3 versus the Broncos. I think the Chargers are really kind of being that sneaky third contender for the AC.
It's the Harbaugh 2-team parlay. Ravens -4.5.
All right, give me an upset of the week.
Those are few and far between here in the NFL, and it has been for a while. So I got to go short here, and I'm going to take just a team where it doesn't look like they should be favored. I'm going to take the Texans over the Jaguars.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I've seen a lot of people take Jags.
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah.
Is there any other favorites that are not coming in?
Okay.
Craig?
Saints straight up +350
Ooh.
over the Seahawks.
And I couldn't pull the trigger there. I mean, we've had, we always on Sunday, now it's just a joke every time. It's like, this is Spencer Rattler, generational drive.
Yeah.
He's going to run down the field and get it. He doesn't get it yet. But maybe, I'm sure in this game, he's going to have the chance at the late, and he's going to be able to run down and get a touchdown. We hope he does, but he probably won't.
I mean, I heard the screams in the office on Sunday morning when we had the Giants and the Jags at one stage going for us, and just then you hear the moan, and I look up and you see what happened.
Yep, of course. All right, well, now let's get into our anytime touchdown parlay. If you tailed the Talking with the Traders quick pick last week, then you know it cashed. Guys, we did it. We said we were coming back. We
18
came
to
back. 18-1, and it cashed.
That's a price.
So let's get into our quick pick of the week. Each person picks one leg. Joey, start us off.
Okay, I'm going to go with the quarterback again. And I'm going to just try to find an angle every week. And if there's one thing I know, everybody's doubting him. He's in the news. Caleb Williams, he's inaccurate. He can't get it done. Cowboys defense, we all know they're trash. So I'm taking Caleb Williams to run it in. At +275.
All right, I like it. For myself, I liked what I saw from Kenneth Walker last week. I think that continues into this week against the Saints. I'm taking Kenneth Walker -115, a little short. So Craig.
I was going to go CD Lamb, 3rd in yards, 2nd in receptions, 2nd in targets, no touchdowns, Bears defense.
Yeah,
but
what the
he's -116. I'm not touching that. So I'm going to go for let's get HR outside our offices if this one hits. Brian Flores must be absolutely chomping at the bit, seeing Browning throw 3 picks last week, and he's the greatest defensive mind I've seen in a long time. Vikings defensive special teams are plus 650, so that 3-teamer pays what, 50s?
It's going to be a price.
It's gonna be a price.
We could be having conversations this week if that hits.
Yeah, here at Talking with the Traders, we love to give you value. All right, well, let's get into game picks. We each choose a college and an NFL pick. Last week I went 2-0, so I'm so back.
Yeah.
Where do we sit right now?
2-1-1.
2-1-1.
You're on the lead.
Okay,
so you get to go first.
Okay. I'm good with that. I am going to take as the dedicated Orange men in the room, Syracuse team total over. I think Cuse can sling the ball if they want to, and they will. And then I am actually, Craig, say it with me. For my NFL pick, we all know one thing about the Chiefs, and that is that they don't cover. So I'm going to take Giants plus 6. I think that opened a little larger, and I liked that more. But yeah. Joey?
Yeah, not having a great start to the year.
Joey, wait. Your picks last week were so bad. I wouldn't wish them on my worst enemy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
I mean, Buffalo.
Better.
Yeah, she could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buffalo minus 22.
And
maybe tonight.
And you wonder why Joey has nightmares about you. It's because, this is why, guys.
I think nightmares is just the right word there. I'm going with the total in college. Bowling Green, Louisville, over 51.5. And then I'm going to go the other hardball. I'm going Chargers minus 3. I really believe in this Charger team, and so they're probably going to be toast after this week.
One thing I know about Joey is he loves a hardball.
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to stick with San Diego State plus 12 and the Ravens minus 4.5. I mean, I had this at minus 5.5 when I answered this last night. And then
you would take this at Ravens minus 20, let's be real.
I'd take this at Ravens minus 19.5. And obviously, we can't pick it tonight, but the Bills by $1 billion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's going to be. I'm going to watch the women's NBA games tonight.
I still believe the Dolphins can figure out something to keep it close tonight.
Keep it close, yeah. Divisional.
I'm gonna hold it close.
Yeah.
So here's your problem. So Tua was 4-0 week 1 in his career, lost to the Colts. 7-0 against the Patriots, lost, and they've got like a 65% record against the spread within the division. That's out the window tonight as well. I mean, Josh Allen's not having any nightmares this week.
All right. You heard it here first. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode. For those listening, make sure you subscribe to Talking with Our Traders wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please make sure to follow us at Caesar Sports on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. Guys, anything you'd like to leave our listeners with before we wrap?
Gamble responsible as always, and good luck.
Yeah, have fun and good luck.
All right. Bye.